So, welcome friends to the fifth day of Vedic Myths of Creation. Before we start the session, we'll just step back for a few moments of silence. Thank you. So, very, very warm greetings to you all. So, we continue our onward progressive journey through the myths of creation with Dr. Vladimir Yatsenko. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, James, and thank you all for coming. Today is also a new perspective, so we are overlapping program with program. But, well, it happened to be so. So, something I wanted to tell you already, and about these two, heaven and earth, and Hiranyagarbha. It is not just heaven and earth, which we see as something which is very familiar to us. Heaven is there, earth is here. It is also the double creation. It is something. It is spirit and matter. When a rishi invokes heaven and earth, he invokes spirit and matter together in their double sacrifice. Heaven sacrifices itself to the earth, and earth sacrifices itself to heaven. It is throughout Vedic literature. Of course, it's hidden from us because we are so used to the separation of the spirit and matter, heaven and earth, that they are kind of two different realities, and they are not. They are within one Hiranyagarbha. They are that origin from which everything comes into being, the whole sacrifice, and everything else is a part of this enterprise, spiritual enterprise. Earth is a spiritual being who is playing the role of location of the souls here and giving them bodies, separate bodies, working for this separation of the soul from soul within its own world, so to say. Souls build their own worlds, and around them there's interaction in the space in between. So when the rishi invokes heaven and earth come to our sacrifice, he invokes spirit and matter. This is the basis of integral yoga. Nowhere else you will invoke spirit and matter together. You always invoke spirit to come to matter, but to invoke them both, that they both have to be activated, both are to participate in this sacrifice, is something very unique. In the same manner, Rishi invokes two sisters, dawn and night. He invokes the night to come and to assist us in our journey as the souls. And this night and dawn are the same as heaven and earth. Heaven is light and earth is night, location for all our souls. In the consciousness, it will be like dawn and night, two sisters, twin sisters, who are with the same mind doing in different form, but with the same purpose and intention, doing the same work of the sacrifice. They are both feeding the flame here, who is growing divine. Keeping this in mind, actually gives you the whole perspective on the post-Vedic literature, where we separating para-prakriti and apara-prakriti, transcendental in this world, and heaven and earth in our, and Purusha and Prakriti, the same story. These two are one. Yes, they are the knot of all the power. Sri Aurobindo says, the two who are one are the right and might in things. And it is not visible to the mind which is separating on the light and darkness, who is kind of operating within black and white perception. So we need to gain that consciousness of oneness in diversity. So today I have a very difficult task. I selected 3 hymns, and I don't think that I will be able to do it because I went through already. But I will start with the most remarkable hymn of Vivasvat himself, the Lord of the Sun, the supramental world. He is the Rishi, and he speaks about his creation, which is rising from the darkness. And he speaks about it in a form which is unique. He speaks about 2 suns. As you remember, Vivasvat is the Lord of the Sun who was stolen by the dark forces and hidden in the darkness of inconscient. So within the inconscient, within the depth of darkness, there is the luminous sun. And that sun is rising, breaking through the darkness. That is the evolution of consciousness. That first avatar who laid down on the bottom of the creation and on the bottom of the inconscient, nascent. And from there, the light is breaking through and Agni is rising, the immortal among mortals. It is him who is rising. So that is the involved sun. And there is uninvolved also sun, the transcendental, the heaven. So involved sun is earth. Uninvolved sun is heaven. So if you think of this in these terms, you will be surprised to see that even in the physical world, in our world of solar system, you will see that the sun is uninvolved, shining onto us, onto earth from above. And the earth is also a sun. The core of the earth is the sun, that very nuclear sun who is kind of shining through, giving life to earth. That is that psychic entity which is making the core of earth warm and living. So we have 2 suns. One is involved and other is uninvolved, even in the physical world as a symbol. It's amazing if you think of it. And that cannot be other way. And in the Gita, Sri Krishna says in a very interesting manner about this. It is in the Secret Knowledge in chapter 9. He says the same thing, but nobody can interpret it. Without the Veda, we cannot even understand what he says. He says that Maya tatam idam sarvam, by me all this is being extended. Jagat avyaktam murtina, by me who is not manifested, this world is being manifested. Matsthani sarva bhutani, all the beings are staying in me. Nachaham teshu avasthitah, but I do not stay in them. They stay in me, I don't stay in them. How come? We thought that he is within us. Yeah? And then he says something else after that. Nachamatstani bhutani, even the beings are not staying in me. Pashyame yogam aishvaram, look at my masterful yoga. Bhuta bharit nacha bhutani, bhuta bharit nacha bhutasthah, mamatma bhuta bhavana. I am the carrier or the supporter, so to say. My Atma is the supporter and stays within the beings, supporting them, their development. Myself. Self is something separate from Him, the Supreme. So the whole manifestation is within Him, He is not in them. What does it mean? It means that the sun, the supramental sun, has a gap within, so to say, created within itself, and that is the world. We are within the divine. The divine is above, below, within, everywhere. We are enclosed into the supramental sun. And that in that gap, which we call our universe, world, there is the rising of the light supramental and the reaching out, descending of supramental light from both sides, and from within, from the heart, there is Brihaspati. So these three devatas. From below there is Rudra with Agni as his sun rising above. From above there is Vishnu with Indra, with his lightning coming down, reaching to this, through this gap, through this bubble in which we live. And from within there is Brihaspati, who is forming that intention to link the heaven and earth into one, make them one again. Is shaping this aspiration to become effective. So when these three join, the sacrifice is fulfilled. So with this light, we have to look into this next hymn. Here it is 10:13. You see Rishi Vivasvat Aditya, Devata Havirdhane. Interesting. He calls the Devata the two foundations of offering. There are two places of offering. One is above, uninvolved, and other is involved. There is a soul unborn in us, Jivatma, and there is inborn self in us, Antaratma. So there are two places of offering. So let's go through this hymn. Yujevam Brahma Purviyam Namo Bhih Shloka etu Pathieva Surech Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putrach Ayedhamani Divyani Tastu. I yoke the ancient word rising in the heart, that very divine intention. I yoke the ancient word rising in the heart, Brahma Purviyam, with the surrenderings of you too. Namobih, Vam Namobih. Who are these two? These two is involved and an uninvolved sun, heaven and earth in another manner. May the expression of the word go far into the vastness, Vishloka Etu, as on the path of the luminous Godhead, Pathi Eva Surech. May all the children of immortality hear it, Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra, who thus abide in the heavenly realms. So these Amritasya Putra is our souls, it's we. We should hear this. We should hear this word which unites heaven and earth, the divinity above and the divinity below. And that's why Rishi invokes both heaven and earth, because beyond, within them, there is the divine which is to be invoked. The phrase Pathiye Vasurech can be also translated as on the path of the sun. The idea here is that both firmaments of heaven and earth of a high and low hemisphere, which are known as two Havirdhanas, two holders of the offering, are yoked through the surrenderings of man with the ancient word emerging in the heart, Brahma Purviyam, the original word, the original intention of oneness. It can also suggest that these Havirdhanas can be understood as two suns, involved and uninvolved. See the last verse of the hymn, we will look into it. Especially if we take into account that the author of this hymn is Vivasvat Aditya, the Lord of the Sun himself. So here the Lord speaks about himself in terms of double nature, involved and uninvolved. They are both yoked to the word, accompanied by the constant surrender by man. Or we can say that by yoking with the help of the word, the aspiration rising from the depth of his being, with the descending aspiration from above over the mental nature, Dve Havirdhane, man accomplishes the sacrifice. So every time we speak, that's why speech, the word, is so important, because it actually generates or manifests the intention of what we are here to achieve, to be, to become, to what consciousness we want to manifest. And if this word has an intention to unite heaven and earth, spirit and matter into one, two divinities above and below into one here in manifestation, then this word is the most effective for everything we want to achieve. The word is seen as the original intent of the divine to manifest itself. Thus Brihaspati can be understood as Adhyajna here, as Sri Krishna says in the Gita that he is in the soul of man, he is there located as Adhyajna, as the one who presides over this process of transformation. So these two Havirdhanas are yoked by the double surrender of the divine will rising from below and the light coming from above with the help of the heart. And that was the sign of an ancient yoga of transformation. The power of aspiration rising from the depth of our being, the power of Rudra, whose sun is Agni, whose mental energies are Maruts, is to be reinforced and formed by the word rising from the depth of the heart, power of Brihaspati, and then only it reaches out to heaven, to the uninvolved divinity, and gets support from above, the link, the unity, the union, the yoga from above, the power of Vishnu, which is coming down in flashes of lightning of Indra. So thus Rudra represents the movement of the involved supramental sun from below, transforming nature from within. Vishnu of the uninvolved supramental sun from above, descending into manifestation, and Brihaspati reaching out from within the heart. In fact, there is only one supramental sun viewed differently, from below, from within, and from above. Manifestation is kept within it. I am not in the world, says Krishna, but the world is in me. So these two schemes we had before, Vishnu, Rudra, Brihaspati, this is Dyauch and Prithvi, Dyava, Prithvi, heaven and earth. Here action into this bubble in which we live. Agni is breaking through from the divine to the manifestation. This is the Antariksha, our vital world, where all the changes take place. And Indra breaks through the sealing through the top down with his lightning, supported by Vishnu. And Brihaspati combines these two, welds them together here and manifests the divine, because he is the intention coming from within, from the heart. So here we have mind, heart, and body. So if you look into the second, Yame Iva Yatamane Yad Aitam Pravam Bharan Manushadeva Yantach Asidatam Svam Ulokam Vidane Suasathe Bhavatam Indavenach. It had to be deconstructed. When you two came aspiring, Yatamane Yad Aitam, two, that means heaven and earth, or the divinity above and below, two Havirdhanas. When you two came aspiring towards each other or towards the manifestation of the divine, as if you were twins, Yameva, and they are twins. Then man seeking or manifesting the divine here, Devayantach, it's a typical word for Veda, seeking the divine manifestation. Manusha Devayanta, have brought you forward, Pravam Bharan. Approach our sacrifice, Asidatam. You who know or discover your own vaster world, Svam Ulokam Vidane, vid, knowing, but also discovering the vastness of your own worlds in this manifestation. Be close to our station, Suasathe Bhavatam, to our offering of delight in Davenach. Now, these two are compared to twins who can be sisters in the feminine gender or two in neutral gender, as they are mentioned in the first verse. Havirdhana literally means holders of offering, sacrificial containers, as it were. The sense of the verse is that these two are remote in their own vast world beyond, but they act as one being, Yameva, as if they were twins. And when they aspire, come closer to our world, men are able to bring them even more forward towards their divine unity. Men who seek the divine manifestation, Manusha Devayanta. Our souls are doing this sacrificial work. We are Yajamanas here. We are here to connect heaven and earth, to connect the divinity uninvolved from above with the divinity rising from below by our sacrifice. We are the junction point of where all things come together and the divine can manifest. We are the workers of the divine manifestation. Manusha Devayantah. This is we. So there is a direct relation between the aspiration of the two sons. They are also aspiring towards one another. When in the Shiva Purana, Shiva is asked, what are you meditating upon? He says, I meditate upon Vishnu. He is aspiring towards Vishnu, who is rising from below. From below and from above. And the sacrificial action done by the gods seeking man on earth to promote even further their work, which is to manifest the divine in matter, in material form of existence, in many, in the multitude manifestation of the One. Panchapadani rupo anvaroham Chatushpadim anuemi vratena. Aksharena pratimi me etam ritasya nabhav adhisam punami. Following the 5 principles, says the Lord of the Sun, I grew out of earth. He grows out of earth. Panchapadani rupa anvaroham. I follow her, Anuemi, who has 4 principles, because our earth, our nature, our location has 4 major chatushpadim, 4 laws, vratena. So he manifests first as physical, then vital, then mental, then supramental. These are the 4 steps by which earth evolves, or the divine within earth evolves. It is by the indestructible syllable of the word, aksharena, that I measured her out. I measured her out by Om, or by Akshara, by the word. Pratimima etam. I am purifying her totally, sampunami. The earth, he is purifying by evolving from within her. In the navel of the truth, Ritasya Bhau Adhi. Vivasvat Aditya, the rishi of the hymn, who is also the supramental sun, speaks about himself as the one who has risen out of earth, following 5-fold principle of material manifestation, Panchamahabhutani, and the 4 levels of the nature, physical, vital, mental, and supramental, Chatushpadim Anuemi. He has measured out, formed the whole nature by the word, indestructible Om, and in the navel of the dynamic truth, in the navel, in the center of the supermind, purifying her, making her divine. Devebhyah kam avrenitam rityum, prajayai kam amritam navrenita, brihaspatim yajnam akrinvata rishim, priyam yamastanuvam prarirechit. Yes, for the sake of gods, he chose death. Yes, for the sake of the creatures born in the body, he chose not immortality. Brihaspati, the rishi, they made their sacrifice here. Brihaspatim yajnam akrinvata rishim. That Brihaspati within the heart, they made the sacrificial action here. Our souls, Yajamanas, are the sacrificial entities. And Yama left his beloved body empty. Yama is the son of Vivasvat, who is representing the soul here in its journey towards the fulfillment. There can be also different readings of this verse. For example, whom did he choose as death for the sake of the gods? Or who is the immortal he did not choose for the sake of creatures? Who is that immortal he did not choose for the sake of the creatures, or for the sake of the progeny? Brihaspati, they made here the sacrifice, their sacrifice. The rishi, the one who will speak the word, manifest the intention of the unity. Yama has left his dear body vacant, and it is added prarirechit. That means left his body vacant forward or for the future to be fulfilled. The vacating of the beloved body by Yama, the first man who died and found his way back to the origin. You know, Yama was the first, he represents the group soul of humanity. When it descended into the darkness, into the matter, the way back had to be found for the soul to travel back to the origin. So he was the first who died and found the way back to the origin. Is indicative of the beginning of long and tardy process of evolution and transformation of the fallen emanations by the spirit descending from above. It can also indicate the beginning of creation, where the spirit creates a gap within his own being, which is to be constantly filled by the sacrifice from below and from above. Avirdhane. So these questions are profound. They are like a puzzle, or like these questions which cannot have answers other than spiritual experience. Devebhyach kam avrinitam mrityum. Whom did he choose for death for the sake of the gods? Prajaye kam amritam navrinita. And whom he did not choose as immortal for the sake of the progeny creatures. So he chose the mortality. Mortality was chosen for him as the way of perpetual life. And Brihaspati was chosen as the sacrificial one, through whom, by clarifying the intention from the depth of the heart, this manifestation of the divine in time and space could take place. And Yama left his beloved body empty, vacant, to be filled with new consciousness in the evolutionary process. Saptaksharanti shishave marutvate pitre putrasa api avivatan ritam ubhe id asya ubhayasya rajata ubheyate te ubhayasya pushyata. 7 are they who flow towards a child, 7 streams of consciousness. Who is the Lord of Maruts? He is the Lord of those powers of Rudra manifesting in our vital and mental worlds. Saptaksharanti shishave marutvate, as the sons who make the truth dynamic known to their father, Pitre Pitrasa, Pitre Putrasa api avi vatan ritam. They both are his, the lords of these both worlds. Ubhed asya ubhayasya rajata. Both they aspire, labor, ubheyatete, and both they grow together. Ubhayasya pushyatah. They are both the lords of the 2 worlds, the transcendental and this world. They both belong to his being, to the Father. The Father is the Lord of the transcendental world of Satchitananda, and his Son, Antaryamin, Antaratman, is the Lord of this world, growing within, the child of whom the Maruts, on whom the Maruts wait. And the Maruts are the powers of the hymns. These are the singers, the divine singers and warriors. By their expression of the intention of the divine, they search for the truth, and they become the helpers for the soul to expand its conquest. They both labor and both grow through this labor, because they both belong to separate worlds. even though they are of one being. Ubhed asya, both belong to him, to one, and from different kind of positions they move as if separated, but belonging to the one. We can also interpret this passage in this way, where the two lords are seen as two suns. One is transcendental Surya Aditya Savitar, and the other one is involved, Vivasvat, Martanda, hidden by the Titans in the darkness of inconscient, from whom Agni is rising as his son. And it is said in the Veda that Agni is rising from Vivasvat. If Vivasvat is the Lord of the Sun, how can Agni rise from him? Because the sun is below. That's why he is rising. The sparks of Agni, are the souls of man, growing psychic beings, Antaryamin, Antaratma, Chaitya Purusha. All these words are used to indicate the involved divinity. It is with the help of the psychic beings and their growth here in material manifestation that the two suns can enlarge their presence and transform the whole nature. The growing sun from within and the descending sun from above. And this is yoga. This is the highest yoga we can imagine. The yoking, connecting, uniting heaven and earth, uniting the divine above and the divine within, and the divine below. And the one who did this union of three, of his will, heart and mind, is called Yukta, united, because he united all three within himself. So this is the whole hymn, and I will stop here and open to the discussion before I come to Yama. And Yami, if we have time. I don't want to rush. I rushed the other day, yesterday, and it wasn't good. We need to dwell. We need to stay with the concept. The flow is yours. So there are no borders anymore, yes? There is no ground on which you can stay. The ground was taken from under your feet, and now you have to hang in the air.
Vladimir, I have a question. In the first verse, you talked about the two places of offering. One as the unborn soul, and one is as the born in manifestation. My question is, how is this? What do you mean by offering of the unborn? And I'm presuming, please correct me if I'm wrong, that the born in the body, the soul in the body manifestation, its offering is through the manifestation, through the vital, physical, and the mental. But that which is unborn, the
it offers
Jivatma.
itself.
Pardon? I didn't get that.
It offers itself, as Mother says, sacrifice is double way. Yes? The divine gives itself, and we why it does it. Right? She explains it in a very interesting manner. She says that because these fallen emanations never could give themselves, they are selfish. You know? They didn't know that one should give oneself because they were the first divine emanations who thought that they are the divine. Why should they give themselves? Yes, there was nobody to give oneself to, and they still carry that imprint. So the divine had to offer itself, himself, to sacrifice himself. The Holocaust of the Divine Mother, Purusha sacrifice. All these faculties, all the consciousness came down into the densest darkness. For what? To redeem them. How? And the redemption of them happens through, as Mother says very interestingly, it shows them an example how to give oneself to the divine. So it starts doing it, and they learn from this involved soul, Yajamana, how to do this sacrifice. And if the vital catches this joy of self-giving, if the mind can catch this bliss of self-surrender, then, but they learn from the soul. Soul is initiating that movement. They start giving themselves. You know? This is for the sake of their own redemption. They have to start giving themselves. Not only soul takes and gives them, you know, and expands. That's the first psychic transformation. But then once they are illumined by the psychic, they feel the need of giving themselves to the divine. The joy, it's not even the need, it's a joy. It's indispensable in a way. It's like the Durga, who is typal being, tried the mother psychic being and said, from now on I am Bhakta of the divine. Interestingly, Bhakti and Bhakta, this in the heart, it has something to do with transformation of the vital. When the vital agrees, and the vital is that crack antariksha to which all the forces come, can you imagine the vital takes the stand of giving itself to the divine? That is the transformative station. Everything is possible. From that time on, when you are Bhakta, you can do miracles because you love the divine in the vital, not only in the heart. Your vital joins. And that is the change which we are looking for. The most difficult change is in the vital for us. Mental is easier. Mental is weak because it serves the vital. Vital dominates man, dominates his mind. It's always the case. When we start thinking something which is inappropriate, it means vital dominates mind. And Sri Aurobindo, in the Ideal of Human Unity, I was listening to this chapter yesterday, 33. I recommend every chapter of this profound book. It is really something. He says that with all the ideals men have, mental ideals of unity, of oneness, of being mental, being true to the divine, is very weak. Mental man is less than 1% in the crowded existence of humanity. These are mainly vital beings. Vital man dominates. The ideals come very slowly. They cannot settle. The little shift and vital man jumps in like an animal. The animal is settled in us, but the mental man is not yet settled even. So we are weak within the vital. And if that bhakti takes place, then we are new beings. That's why bhakti is so praised all the time. Bhakti movement of India, Mirabai, Surdas, Tulsidas, Kabir, these are the lovers of the divine. That love, that intensity of the vital which joins the heart, you can't stop such a being. He will not move, be easily. His mind will not be bewildered, because the bewilderment of the mind is always coming from the vital. And that is Brihaspati here in this hymn. It is a he. They made Brihaspati the sacrifice, the rishi. This is the intention. The intention is manifestation. Yeah? And that is the heart, the love arising from the heart. Bhakti, devotion, total self-giving, total surrender to the divine. With love. Which is psychic being.
Yeah.
Or
Vital,
go ahead.
for vital to really transform itself, it needs to let go of its attachment to the ego, and that is so strong. It
Nice conclusion. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, of course it is ego. Ego is a mental formation, which we believe that the mind serves the vital. That is the ego formation. The self-satisfaction of senses within themselves. This formation and this dogmatic vision of oneself, that it is me who is in need of enjoyment and power and everything. And without it, the manifestation of the separate being could not take place. Yeah. But then ego was the helper, and ego is the bar now, when you want to see who you truly are. But if you don't, if there is no such need, then ego is a very effective and needed a center for manifesting the divine on the lower level. Everybody lives by ego, no? We all live because we have this sense of ourselves as egos. I am Vladimir, okay, I'm this, that, I'm this, I need this, I need that, I don't need this, I don't like that. This is ego.
transformation itself calls for letting go of the separation as well. The and the union with the divine.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about I know you spoke about it, but if you could just bring it together for me. Brihaspati in the context of transformation of the vital.
You see, it's in the Veda. This is the framework of the Veda. Brihaspati is forming the intention rising from below by the word. He has by the word, by Rishi, he is the Rishi, the one who speaks the word which frames the aspiration rising from below, from our nature to become divine, can be effectuated. It can be directed towards our higher, uninvolved divinity in more precision, in a more effective way. So once it is framed, the Agni is actually the power which is everywhere in nature. But it has to be framed by intention. So that is coming from the heart. That is Brihaspati, that is Rishi. The hymn, we read today the hymn, and we got some framing of aspiration. That framing is already becoming effective because the answer from above reaches leaping down. Why? Because it was properly framed. So our aspiration to become better can be hijacked by many forces, by vital forces, mental forces, yes? And we can become very egoistic in our self-development, which is not bad for nature. But when we want the divine manifestation, really, we need this Brihaspati's word. We need the word of the Rishi, because it frames our consciousness totally different. You can see how this hymn does to us. It really removes all the boundaries. It focuses us on who we truly are. Suddenly we have a sense that we are not the ego. We are here, the transformative station, and the ego is just the means by which we settled here within the physical, vital, and mental body, but it cannot be the only thing. It can be instrumental, but not the very central thing, because there is something else central is perceived or felt or experienced through the hymn. Hymns are doing this to us because rishis had that vision, that consciousness, and they made these hymns for us to help us in our journey. Actually, all the scriptures, unfortunately, scriptures became very secretive and very religious, and the same with the Rig Veda. To break through to the meaning of this verse, of this hymn, we need Sri Aurobindo and all his knowledge and all what I told you about Rudra, Vishnu, and Brihaspati. It is Sri Aurobindo. You will not find anywhere this explanation of these three. Nowhere. And what will you do with these three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva? All that description in Puranas is very different already. The destruction, the beginning, and the sustenance of the world. It is already shifting towards some religious dogma. It is still working, it is still helpful, but not like this. Not in this way. Yes. So these two, heaven and earth, coming back to them, spirit and matter, are invoked by rishis because it is integral yoga. It is integrating the matter and the spirit, and both are needed for this achievement. You will see also the night and dawn. The dawn is needed and the night is needed. Both are invoked. Night is holding us in our location, in our sacrificial location, to manifest the divine in many. And the dawn is charging us, feeding us, bringing the light into our light, and helping us to expand and grow. The same heaven and earth, the same the Havirdhanas, the divinity above, the divinity below. It's amazing. And now we are coming to the hymn of Yama and Yami, and you will see that these twins, born from Vivasvat, from the Lord of the Sun, representing the group soul of humanity, are also double. One of them has to go to heaven, and the other is to stay on earth. Yama later is understood as the Lord of Death, but he is not the Lord of Death. He is the Lord of transition of the soul, helping the soul to find its way back to the origin from which we all came. So there the souls rest while they are reincarnating. Before reincarnations, we make our plan, vision for the next incarnation. And we need time for this and space, different from incarnated space. Most probably because of this, we fall asleep also. We have daytime and nighttime. In the daytime, we are active. We are acquiring and experiencing things of light. And then we fall asleep in the darkness, in the night, and bring all that light into into the inconscient. We are charging the inconscient to become more and more luminous, more and more capable of manifesting the spirit. We are redeeming the fallen emanations and bringing them slowly back to their self-awareness. That's what we do by falling asleep. By falling asleep, we withdraw, so to say, from engagement with the physical and even vital and mental, and find the minute or second with the origin, where that second or minute is so precious for us to continue. We have to re-establish the connection with the innermost, leaving outermost by itself. You will see it everywhere throughout these two, heaven and earth. It's amazing if you start kind of using this knowledge and looking at our everyday life. In the Chandogya Upanishad, they say that for man, the earth is earth, but heaven is heaven. Earth is earth and heaven is heaven. But for the gods, the earth is heaven and the heaven is earth. It's upside down. For them, heaven is earth. That's where they're all aspiring for. They want to come to earth as to heaven. That is their heaven. So we take our earth for granted. We think this earth was heaven is. They think no, heaven is earth. But the earth is, this is all the desires can be realized here, all the divine desires. Earth is unique. It is no moment of time is the same as the other moment of time. You remember Achilles talking to this lady this princess who he stole from Troy. He says, the gods envy us. I will tell you the secret. The gods envy us because this moment, this intensive moment, will be only once in the eternity. It will never repeat itself. Everything is unique here. The gods do not have that privilege of having that every moment as a unique experience. They are longing for it. Yes, any other thoughts? No? Everybody is smiling, that means good.
I do have a question.
Yes, Jane.
What you just said, why is everything here changing? In heaven, nothing changes.
Good question. Because there is a involved divine here into the fallen divine. It's a double divine. And it is because of this double nature, there is an evolution taking place. And evolution means that you will not have in the same time the same material form. It is constantly evolving, changing. You cannot enter the same matter in the same time. You cannot enter the same stream of river twice. You're always new, always fresh. That's the phenomenon of time, which was created from this gap. The gap was created within the divine because the fallen and the redeeming power within generate this need. There is no other way to redeem it. And there, in uninvolved divinity, it is not like that. He is there himself. He doesn't do anything. There is no time. There is no ongoing change. That's why they are typal. They are what they are. I am what I am, typal. Immortal, not even immortal. Immortal is the wrong word. Alone, infinite, unchangeable. Immortal is already when the mortality is there. You cannot say he is immortal because then he must be here. Oh, he is immortal here, yes. He's always here. Great. Okay, I will look into the yama and I will do quicker with yama because it's important, yes? Let me... and yama and yami I will explain in passing because there is no way that we can read through the whole hymn. Even if I do it hastily. Let me open them. First I will open him to Yama. It's kind of interesting that Yama himself, he speaks about himself. He is the Rishi and he is the Devata. Yeah? I hope you see the hymn. Yeah? So this is longish hymn, but I will rush through it. Paraivan sampravato mahir anu bahubhyah pantham anupaspashanam vaivasvatam samgamanam jananam yamam rajanam havishaduvasya. Energize him, says the Rishi. Energize him with your offering, him Yama, who is the traveler into the great worlds beyond. He is the traveler. He is the representative of group soul who moved towards the origin, found way back, who showed the path to the many and has gathered them there. He is the one who gathers all our souls there, who accompanies us to our destination beyond. That's why he appears when soul is ready to leave the body. He is there to help the soul, to assist the soul in its journey through the infinity to the source where the soul has to come, and not to kill the body. He is not the killer of the body, he is the savior of the soul. That is the difference. Who are born here, all the souls are, we are all born here together to the son of Vivasvat, the king Yama. Energize him, offer to him everything. This is amazing. Yama first discovered our path, that very path to the beyond. And this expansion of light cannot be taken away. It is a steady path. Where our ancient fathers has gone beyond those who are born here, follow up by their own path. The ancient ancestors, our Angirasa Rishis, our Pitris, are there together with Yama in the highest heaven, where all souls abide, where we all have to rest before coming back to this earth. I will skip this. Imam Yama prastaram ahi sida angirobhih pitribhih samvidanach atva mantrach kavishasta vahantu enarajan havishamadayasva. Take your seat on this prepared place for you, O Yama, together with Angirasa Rishis and Pitris, and may the mantras created by the seers bring you here. O King, enjoy this offering. Come with Angirasas, worthy of sacrifice, O Yama, and by all forms enjoy yourself here. This is the representative of group soul of humanity. Something like Satyavan nearly. Satyavan is the soul, and this is the representative. I invoke Vivasvat. Vivasvat is his father, who is your father in this sacrifice, to sit on this bar. His bar is the extension. We created the extension for the sun involved, for the supermind involved. Angirasas are our fathers, who are Navagavas of 9 rays, Atharvans and Bhrigus. These are the families of rishis. I'm not going into it today. Who partake of our soma, of our delight, which we distill and press out from this manifestation for them to partake. That uniqueness of delight, what Achilles was mentioning, of that moment of time, they all want to partake because it's unique. It cannot be repeated ever. And they are drawn to this unique manifestation of delight. May we be in their perfect mind and bliss and grace of those who are worthy of sacrifice. Go ahead, go forward by ancient paths where our ancient fathers have gone. They say to Yama, go ahead, not to Yama, to the soul. Go ahead, go forward by the ancient paths where our ancient fathers have gone. Both kings enjoying by offering to Pitris, exclaiming Svadha. You should see thus Yama and God Varuna. Varuna is the purity of the divine existence, the foundation of our soul, ourselves. If Yama represents the consciousness of the soul, or God Varuna represents the self. Samgachasva pitribhih samyamena ishtapurte parameviyomon hitvaya avadyam punar astamehi samgachasva tanuva suvarchah. Go together with Pitris. It is the question, it is the command to the soul. Go together with Pitris. Don't be afraid of death. There is no death. Together with the Yama and with your free and preordained actions and with your free and preordained actions in the highest heaven, having left the unspoken thing, come again to your home, your being. Join, take another body, being full of perfect light. I cannot really unfold everything, so I will go through. Get out, go away, get dispersed. For him this world the fathers made. By the days and waters and nights it is manifested. You notice how beautiful. By the days and waters and nights this world is manifested. Yama gives this resting place to him, to the soul. Run faster by the right path, following Sarameya, four-eyed and dappled heavenly hounds. So Yama usually sends these Sarameya dogs, who are the daughters of Sarama. Sarama is the intuition of the highest heaven. She comes down, she leads Indra to the darkness. She finds the treasures hidden in the darkness. And these Sarameya dogs are her daughters, who accompany soul through dangerous spaces of vital worlds. And they are protecting the soul in its journey. They are with four, eyed. They are looking in 4 different directions, not allowing any other force to jump on the soul. They are accompanying the soul to the beyond. thus approach the fathers who know perfectly, who enjoy together with the Yama their unity feast in the highest heaven. It reminds me of the lord of the horse who was killed in the battle with these orcs in the Lord of the Rings, and when his body was broken, he says, don't try to restore me. I am going to the world of my Father, in whose mighty presence I will not be ashamed. He gave his life in the battle, the king. He is going to the world of his fathers, in whose mighty company he will not be ashamed to join them, because he did his duty. This is so beautiful. If you think in those terms about our life, this heroism of the Kshatriya, giving his life for his country, for his people, he is joining the world of Pitris. Yes, I will skip few because we do not have enough time. Come to the end. Yamaya somam sunuta yamaya jota havih yamam ha yajño gacchati agni duto aram kritach. To Yama press out the soma, our delight. To Yama make the oblation. To Yama the sacrifice is going well prepared, accompanied by Agni as its envoy. Yamaya ghartavad havih juhota pracha tishtata pranodevesho ayamat dirgham ayuh prajivase. For Yama make the offering full of clarity and rise before him. For he, among or in the gods, should extend our long life to live. Pratishtata can be translated as move forward to him, leave nothing behind. Merge with him in your journey beyond. Gather your consciousness fully and join his journey beyond. Offer to him your clarified intention and merge with him in your path forward. For he should hold or stretch or prolong our life in the gods, to live our life forward in the future, in our next incarnations. We depend on Yama as the group soul representative because he actually manages this extension forward. Now, there are a few words I must say before I stop about Yama and Yami. And him is mainly misunderstood, heavily misunderstood, because these are twins who came from the sun, and they came to this earth, to this matter, and there they have a dialogue. They both speak, and Yama wants to go to heaven to find the path back for the souls to travel to their resting place, to their origin, and Yami wants him to stay with her, saying that, well, this body into which we came, you can enter it and stay here as a soul, as the Lord. Why do you have to leave? And he says, no, we are of the same origin. We need to generate this dichotomy, this rhythmic power of time in which everything can be spelled out, in which we can do the sacrifice. So she objects to it. She says, we were born together. We were born as twins. We have to stay together. This is our power, and so on. He refuses, and he says, you stay here and I go to heaven. So she could not forget him, and so the gods created for her days and nights, that through the night slowly she forgot about Yama. because she was crying all the time. And if you look at these two representatives of group soul, one is in heaven and the other is on earth, left on earth, then you see that these are two correlative powers of the traveling of our souls. When we leave the body, Yama sends his Saramaya dogs, his consorts, or he himself comes, as for Satyavan, he comes himself to fetch his soul, to help him to find the way back. But Yami is doing the same work, only when the soul comes from heaven down to earth. The mother describes this in a very interesting way. She says, when the soul is ready, when the intention is clarified, the soul is looking for the place where to embody itself. And from there, from earth, from down, the soul sees lightnings, like blinking of the light, here and there. Why these blinkings? What is this? It is actually Yami, who correlates the intention of the soul with the needed place for the embodiment. It shows the way where to go, where to plunge, into which family to come, into which country to be born, for the sake of fulfillment of that soul planned, wanted to have challenge with, not only the best things for the soul, but the best things for the soul's work within manifestation. And someone has to correlate where that light is coming from, and I think it is Yami there. Because Yama and Yami are connected. They are the representatives of the soul group of humanity, and they know everybody's intention. And interestingly, when the soul leaves, this is what I was telling in some of our meetings. When the soul leaves, when the soul is ready to leave the body, there is like a film going very fast with all the significant elements of our life. The soul sees them, and understands that that fulfillment of the intention was or wasn't done totally. And in that moment, the soul makes an intention for the next reincarnation. In that moment, being still in the body. And that is caught by Yami, I think. That is kind of recorded somewhere in the Akashic record, that was your intention. We know what you are looking for, and we will prepare in the meanwhile or find for you suitable place for the next reincarnation. That's why it is so important in the last moment to have this connection to the highest, yes? And the last breath to have that deeper connection to the divine. And then you can have more opportunities of your progress in the next reincarnation. So here I will stop totally talking and open the floor for you. We have still some minutes, 10 or so.
Purely perhaps rhetoric, but will Yami ever follow Yama?
Say it again.
Will Yami ever follow Yama?
Oh yeah, when we embody the divine, when the divine will be totally manifested, Yama and Yami, they will restore their twinhood. Yeah, they are twins who are within the gap. They embrace the gap. And now when sacrifice is reaching to its completion, when we are totally yuktas, that's the unity of heaven and earth, of Yama and Yami, will be restored, of course. The union will be in the future. The same Savitri and Satyavan, there are many kind of the same ideas. Yama and Yami represent heaven and earth, yes, in this soul journey of humanity. And sacrificial, this journey is a sacrificial journey, constant transformation of the fallen emanations, bringing more and more light into the darkness.
Vladimir, you'll send us all these hymns, right, of Yama and
Yes, sure.
thank you.
3 hymns. You can. And there are many more hymns from before also, all those heaven and earth. You will, with this mind, will you start reading them, you will see many more things. We need to have that, mind, which is looking for certain things. Otherwise, it's not visible. It's just ordinary.
Vladimir, I have a question. When you mentioned the Angirasas, the Navakva Rishis are mentioned, but the Dasakva Rishis are not coming in. Is there any particular reason there?
Probably. I was thinking the same thing. I think the Shagvarishis are already someone yuktas. Yeah? Navagvas are still aspiring. They are still doing the work, and the Shagvas are already most probably realized. This is the ideal, yes, when all the 12 chakras come together, after fully illumined by the divine presence, then most probably there will be another stage of evolution. I thought the same thing, yes. Why only Navagvas are mentioned in that list? Or maybe it is implied, maybe something else, maybe I'm just making up something. They cannot fit all the names into the verse. It's a poetry, yes. Many times they say Varuna and Mitra, implying Aryaman, or they will say just Varuna, implying 3 of them. So many times it happens in the Veda. Or instead of saying Dyava Prithvi, they will say Dyava, on 2 heavens, 2 luminous ones, or Rodasi, 2 luminous firmaments. So they will be finding a way to indicate the same idea, because if you have that mind which is looking for it, you will see it anyhow. For some reason, it works. That's what we got from Sri Aurobindo, these keys. He gave us keys to unlock the Rig Veda. Now we are trying to, whether it unlocks or not. And then we feel the presence, it means unlocked. Something got unlocked. If you don't have presence, nothing was unlocked. It's all about the experience. Is it not so? It's not about knowledge. It's not mental knowledge which you can really have. It's not havable.
Vladimir?
Yes.
I was just thinking as we were going through this about the whole Buddhist idea of escaping from the world to avoid suffering. And this is such a different way of looking at incarnation, being on the earth. And yeah, the desire for liberation that has been so prevalent. This changes that view completely. That it's such a great opportunity to be in a body, to be on the earth, and to have that understanding changes. I think it would change a lot of people's view of what our mission on the earth is.
Yeah. And what they are doing here and how they are doing things. You don't need to be moralistic being anymore. It will be absolutely natural because you are aligned with a purpose. Yeah. Absolutely.
I was just reading the interview about these astronauts who came back to Earth, and they said that from space, Earth is the most beautiful planet.
Mm.
And they were stuck there for 9 months. And the lady, the Indian astronaut, she was inspired to start reading the Bhagavad Gita there. So
That was very beautiful to know.
Mm. Yeah, we should not
That's
forget we
something
this.
I've come to view.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I've really come to see the world more as paradise. It is a paradise. There's certain things about it. Human beings are the ones who really mess everything up. You know, when ego gets involved and the love, you know, the desire for money and power and all of these vital forces. But if you take that out of the equation, everything works so beautifully. And even in the people's lives who really lead their lives in a spiritual way, life can be perfect right here on the earth. I've
Yeah.
seen this in certain people's lives.
Yes. Yes, because we live in this dynamic space and time, we need all the elements to bring more and more from the divine. And in that sense, we need also peace and harmony. But Sri Aurobindo says in this stage of development, harmony and peace cannot be the solution because man needs also adventure and force and struggle and fight, nearly as important as peace and harmony. Because these are the elements which are pushing him to the extreme, to bring more and more something which wants to manifest. If we see this as a journey, the sacrifice as a path, yes, and also as a battlefield, constant battlefield we have to engage with, but with this idea of embodying the divine, conquering for the divine, this is something amazing. It is much better than just getting peace and settle down and fall into tamas and harmony. It won't do. It won't work with this stage of development. It's not. We are not yet there. We need much more to do in order to be there.
Yeah, very good.
Great.
Yeah, and there is beauty and delight and struggle too. Like after a good run, a tough run, you feel good. There is delight, there is joy. Uh,
Absolutely. And not only there, but that you could overcome your laziness, that you master your own life, that you can really manage and make order in your life. This is a great joy, because that is the adventure of the soul. Yeah? We want to get these obstacles. Obstacles are showing us where to go, what to do. They are there to indicate our work and not to run away from them.
and also to bring light to the dark doors, light within us if we are able to cross them.
Your voice was breaking. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I was saying that the obstacles bring more light to the parts of us which are in
Yes,
shadow.
absolutely. We bring the light. That is how we do it. Yes. What is doing? What is karma? If you analyze this word karma from root kri, is actually refashioning the relations between things, between elements. We take apart something which was there and redistribute, reorganize everything in a new, more conscious way. By reorganizing, by recapturing things, we bring consciousness into it. We have to consciously deal with things. Things are actually our supporters here for this sacrifice. We have to deal with our physical reality here, with the vital reality of feelings, emotions, thoughts, physical things around us. To take care of them. Why do we have to take care of them? Because we bring consciousness into them. That's what is happening. We don't even think about it, but it is what it is. Great, wonderful. So next time we will meet for the last session, and I would encourage you to maybe do something. Maybe we will make some groups, and you will discuss among the groups. I will have only one presentation on the hymn of unity and the vision of this unity, the message which Vedic rishis left for us, which is powerful hymn. Yes, and from we will spend time discussing things as we did in the last also Vedic vision, the part one. The last session was more discussions, and I want to hear your voices. Great, thank you all, and let us close with a minute of silence. Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.